What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. Tomorrow is February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. So make sure that you get your significant other and loved one something, maybe even a gun or a holster or whatever might float their boat. I want to let's do a quick roll call out there. Roll call, not roll call, but roll call out there. Once again, as always, we have a very festive and interesting chat going on in pre-show over there. But Patriot in the Dark was here about 3.5 hours early. Man, you got to get a life. You got to get a life, bro. Patriot Grim is in here. Tac Daddy Tar Dot. Let's see here. Gunpowder Beauty, D-Temp. Rich White, the 1%, RL Sewer. Let's see here. You've got 50 Caliber Karma, Budget Guns and Gear, Carl Laverne. Man, I'm going to butcher that. I'm sorry, bro. Zinger, what's going on? Let's see. Sean's in the house. Hemi, what's up, Hemi? Angry. Zippy, Squib. We got all sorts of people in here. 9mm. Travis P, 2 Live Moo, roll call. Yo, what's up? Kalishnikov, what's up, Cal? How you doing? Did you see the news that they might get a law on the so-called ghost guns? Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that later on the show. So, yeah, let's see here. D-Temp. Let's check the gun channel side. You got Tardot, John, Dr. No, Scott, Ralph, Pete Ortega, Knives is over there. The Pants. What's going on, guys? Let's kick it around the room real quick. We got some awesome panel guests here to talk about some stuff tonight. We've got Travis P11, host of Caliber Corner. What's going on, Travis?
Hey man, not much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Anytime, my man. Anytime. We've got the man, the myth, the Tac Daddy himself. What's up, Tac?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. And the Reaper, the Tactical Reaper, Grim. What's going on, Grim?
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
And hello, everybody.
And the Tactical Leprechaun. We got all sorts of tack people in here tonight. I should have called Travis a Tactical Travi, I guess. I don't know. But the Tactical Leprechaun, Clover Tack. What's up, my man?
Hey, everybody. Good to be here. Thanks.
Right on. And manning the boards and our producer, let's see here. What? Ghost Tactical, great chat on Hank's channel right now. Oh, okay. Our producer, engineer, the John Z Project. What's going on, John? How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody, today, and welcome to our panel. Enjoy the show, everyone.
All right. As you well know, we are live on YouTube. We are simulcasting on GunChannels.com, and there we'll take the audio from this and put it over on PodBean and iTunes as an audio podcast, so you can go check those out anytime. But we are all simulcasting on Gun Channels, and we talk about this a lot, but if you're not familiar with Gun Channels, it is a wonderful Second Amendment and gun community. G-Webs and some people started a few years back, 4 years ago, and it is a great place to hang out, talk guns, talk Second Amendment, talk pretty much anything, but we try to keep it focused on the firearms community. But there's a 24-hour lobby chat that you can get in and hop in and ask questions if you have it, or just kind of hang out and talk. It is, as I like to call it, the water cooler of the firearm community. So if you're not familiar with Gun Channels, please go check them out. Most of the content creators and show hosts that you guys watch throughout the week are all over on Gun Channels, so go check out all those channels. Check out the live shows. The lobby chats are great. They've got the Minuteman series that G's doing now. You've got the calendar of all sorts of different firearm-related events happening throughout the year. Once again, it is a phenomenal community for the Second Amendment and firearm genre. And we are going to take a quick station break. John, you've got something to talk about as far as Gun Channels goes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, GunChannels.com has recently turned 4 years old. There are a growing number of audiences as well as content creators utilizing the website. With the increasing demand, GunChannels.com is in the process of completing much needed upgrades. These upgrades will help create smoother functionality while keeping up with the increasing number of members, in addition to a much welcomed GunChannels.com mobile app. Here's a brief video describing the upgrade procedure and fundraiser to help offset the costs of these upgrades.
All right, let's show the video. Here we go.
It's time for Gun Channel's 4th year upgrade. We've been building Gun Channels now since 2013, and it's time for a bit of a redesign to focus on the most used features and to get it ready for a mobile app. So in order to raise some funds, we'd like to grow together with the content creators over on Gun Channels. So we're going to offer some work with their logo images. For example, Smeggy's image here. We're going to offer to help you turn that into a vector image. We'll go live with you on the live show, and you can use that vector image for things like branding or intros to videos. Another thing we're going to offer is the embroidery files. So you can take a file that you might be using as your logo now, like Mr. Knives or Flippies here, and then we'll help you turn that into an embroidery file, which you can use for patches or t-shirts or stuff like that. Another thing we'll do is help you turn your logos into animated puppets. We've been playing around with that and should have some fun with that. Even Smeggy's vector image we were able to turn into a puppet. So if you'd like something like that for an intro to your video or for some sort of other project, we can talk about that. Lastly, I think the one that most people are going to be interested in is the Gun Channels trading cards. So if you'd like to have your own card, or if you'd just like to get a deck of the cards with everyone on them, then head over to the Indiegogo and check out Gun Channel's 4th year upgrades. Get in on the project and see you over at Gun Channels. Thanks for watching.
Tack Daddy puppets are not available.
Tack Daddy puppets are not. Holy cow! Why not? No, it's a great thing that, you know, and like I said, Clover 9, others have been talking to G a lot lately about the Gun Channels website itself. There have been some issues using mobile and using the chat and all that stuff, and he's aware of that. It has grown considerably in the last 6 to 8 months as far as people in there utilizing it, viewing it. So I think these are much needed upgrades, and like you said, the mobile app as well. That's going to be huge. You know, the mobile app's going to be big for everyone who's trying to use it. Smeggy's a snowman in human clothing. You know, we've talked about this. You know, we got to meet Smeggy at SHOT Show, and Smeggy's voice is one of the very few people that actually fits the voice almost to a T. I mean, I had a visual image of what Smeggy was going to look like when I met him, and it was damn near identical. What do you think, Clove?
Yeah, Smeggy has that cartoon character voice, and then his mannerisms when you meet him are very cartoonish. So, I mean, it just fits.
Let's see here. Well, guys, we're going to jump right on into the topics real quick. One of the things that we were talking about, and G brought this up kind of a week or so ago on Daily Gun Show in a small sense, and it kind of got some interesting discussion going, let's say, is about CCW, self-defense, home defense gadgets and gear outside of your gun and holster and all of that. We're talking flashlights. We're talking maybe a red dot on your gun. You're talking brass knuckles, pocket knives, all that stuff. And I want to kind of run through the room real quick. And aside from your gun, your firearm, whether it's a gun or a rifle or whatever, a pistol or whatever, but aside from your firearms, what are some of the objects that you guys either use in your EDC carry or for home or self-defense, whether it's the truck or at the house or anything like that, aside from firearms? And you guys, we'll start with Travis. What all do you use?
Bedside, got a TLR1 on my my bedside gun, and then I've got 2 knives that usually sit next to the gun, a flashlight, And then on me, I've always got some sort of a blade that I'm carrying at all times. And I've got a few weapons posted throughout the house, you know, just in various rooms. We've got a 2-story house, so there's a lot of square footage to cover. So you can find, I don't want to say weapons all over the place, but weapons in places where we could get to them if we needed to. But I do like spring assisted knives. You know, if they're legal in the state you live in, you should maybe have one. Because I'm thinking in the middle of the night, if I'm fumbling for one, or God forbid somebody charges into the room, right? I don't want to sit there and try to have to mess with the lock blade. I want to be able to flick it open and defend myself. So that's generally what I have as bedside weapons and around the house.
Yeah, Kalishnikov's out there saying that he can't carry yet, but he carries a pocket knife and a Leatherman kick action multi tool. That's good, but man, you gotta get your CCW, bro. You know, you gotta work on that. If we can get Night Strike to pass a CCW class, surely everyone can pass a CCW class. So let's get on there. Hemi out there says Spyderco Paramilitary 2.0 Light, S1A Baton, a Leatherman PS4. Soon we'll be carrying a Kershaw Hotwire thanks to RL. Nice. Gotta love that. Let's see here. Well, John says you can't carry a firearm in New York. What all do you use on EDC or home defense or whatever? Do you carry any of that stuff with you?
Well, I'm not going to mention the things I don't carry. Wink, wink. But I will say, if you have a really good pencil sharpener, you got some amazing weapon with those tree branches. That's all.
I thought you were going to go John Wick and start stabbing people in the eye with pencils or something.
I mean, if you have a sharp enough pencil, that would be awesome. But if you can do it without damaging the eyeball and save that.
I don't think John Wick was really worried about damaging eyeballs at all. So, yeah, no. John Wick was all about the mass destruction of his enemy.
No, but on a serious note, you have the little teeny weeny
I do not. I don't know who told you that.
Well, I say, hurry up, John, and finish that sentence, please.
Whoa.
You have the little, I mean, we saw pictures of his hand, but you know,
John,
you have the teeny little weeny pepper spray, right? That you put on your keychain.
Okay.
And also, your basic items you have on you anyway, like pens, pencils, are good weapons for self-defense if you know how to use them with proper training.
There you go. Tack, you got anything in your EDC or truck or home that's not firearm related that you or your family uses?
I got a few things, but I recently upgraded. Now I just carry Instructor Zero wherever I go.
Yeah, well, that helps.
Tasers. The Taser Pulse is an awesome alternative.
Yep.
I've done a bunch of work with it. I've done a bunch of video work with it. I've done a bunch of testing and shooting it, like actually shooting the thing. It works. It's great. You flip the switch. You got a light and a laser on it right away. You shoot somebody. You hold it down. You let go. You hold it down again. They're incapacitated again. They rip it out. You still have a stun gun in your hand. So that thing's pretty awesome. I carry an extra magazine, and one of the reasons for that is talking to friends and people that have had some of those interactions and encounters that we read about in the news and hear about. But, you know, I have some friends that have gone through some of that shit. And when you start talking about 2 and 3 attackers on, you know, you or somebody that you love, because you go into a convenience store and you come out and the person that's pumping the gas all of a sudden has one person on them and 2 people, you know, in the car that's obviously involved with it. And now you have one gun, you know, and as good as a shield is, and as much as I love that gun, you know, the most you can carry in a 43 is what, 8, 9, 10 rounds. So carrying a full-size gun and carrying an extra magazine is a big part. The other thing that I go back on that is one of the guys I got to talk to and meet with was Clint Smith. And again, if you don't know who he was kicking ass in Vietnam's in the jungle while most of us were toddlers, if even born.
If you haven't say if you're even alive yet, yeah.
He mentioned in even the first place I heard this concept where at first I cocked my head and I was like, really? Like many people do, was at a tactical response class where Yeager talked about carrying 2 and 3 guns. But you talk to Clint, you talk to some other people, you talk to even There's even an MMA former world champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu badass dude in all rights with his hands that there, he carries multiple guns. So the thought of extra ammo and extra guns is something that I'm kind of big on this year.
Yeah, no, when you say extra guns, are you talking like a little pocket 380 or, are you just talking about an actual full-size extra EDC gun?
I've been carrying a 19 with one in the chamber and an extra 15-round mag as a minimum.
Okay. Yeah.
And all those, again, I know Yankee's one of those people that'll tell you, statistically, there's only 2 rounds fired. Statistically, there's only 3 rounds fired. All that shit, I get it. But statistically, dudes that are bad dudes usually run in packs. Especially in most of the cities and places I've been and lived that I've seen bad shit go down. It's usually more than one dude.
Yeah.
So that's just, again, something different to think about as you talk about this topic.
Absolutely. Grim, what about you? And being at school, I mean, obviously you probably can't carry a firearm at school, but do you or do other teachers that take anything to class that might, and Travis, you can jump in here also, but that you guys take to class that, could help in a situation?
Me personally, I still carry a knife and a multi-tool at school. As for anyone else in the building, besides the janitor, no, they have pencil and paper. That's about it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they're not thinking. They're always, don't worry, the liaison is here, or don't worry, so-and-so. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. How's that worked out in several incidents,
Yeah. Yeah. That, I don't know. The mentality is just that mentality up here. I mean, even when I pulled my knife out to open something up or do something in the science lab or whatever, they're just look at me. I get that look like, really? I'm like, I got to open the boxes. So, but at school,
if you're at the house and all that, do you use anything, or does your wife or kids, or you got an older son, right?
Yeah, but he recently moved out. So, but, no, at the house, we have both of the gun boxes, like usual. I have a couple flashlights throughout the house. Right. We have several knives, whether it's cheapy knives, good knives. And then the one thing we do have is it's almost like a baton. My brother gave it to me 25 years ago. But it's similar to a baton. It's just like a 2-piece. We have 2 of those, for whatever, close quarter or whatever. And the other thing we were thinking of that Tack brought up, and I know my wife has been, now that we can actually get one here in Illinois, is get a stun gun for the house.
Right.
Something a little less for closer, in case whatever happens. But at bedside, same thing, small, like rod, almost like those. Remember those tiny baseball bats?
I know what you're talking about. They're kind of like they're like a cattle prong almost. Like they just they're about 2 feet long. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've thought about something like that or stun gun because he brought that up, and that's a good point. And she's been interested. But other than that, no, just basics. And then we do have the 2 doors, the 2 access points to the house, which, but that would be easier to get into. We have adjustable, what look like fire bars. I don't know if you've ever been to more of an urban city. John might know what I'm talking about, where they actually prop up against the handle of the bar of the door. So the more pressure you put in to try and kick in the door, just like a steel rod. This one's an adjustable one, and it can also be used as a baton too. So
I got you. So it can be used
a door stop.
Yeah.
It's similar, but this one's 2-fold. It was actually made for hotel rooms.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen them. I bought this probably 25, 30 years ago. I'm on a trip when me and my brother decided to jump in the car and leave, and we stayed in some sketchy hotels heading down to Florida. So we actually bought it. Yeah, it's like a doorstop. It's it'll it'll open up. You can adjust it to, but almost it's shaped like if it was a bat.
I got
Kind
you.
of weird. So, but that's about it.
Sounds good. Clover, you got anything? I know you carry quite a bit of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't forever see having to go to secondary stuff over a firearm, but I mean, you never know. I'm a Streamlight guy when it comes to light. I've got the Stinger in the house, Stinger in the shop, and then carry the Stylus Micro, the little, what is it, a 1AA or 1AAA or something, pocket, and then truck. I've got just the Stylus, which is the two battery version. So plenty of light wherever I'm at. I don't do the tactical pin thing just simply because I've been too stingy to spend money on such an item. I've got a little bolt action refillable, pin, and you don't want to get stabbed with that. I can promise you. So I figure if I ever had to go to a tactical pin, you don't really need a quote unquote tactical pin. Any pin would probably do the trick.
Probably.
Outside of that, I mean, in the house, I've also got a cold steel copy of the machete from Book of Eli. So, I mean, if I had to go with a larger blade, I mean, it's kind of hanging there and would be easy to grab if I needed it.
Yeah.
As far as things that I would recommend, I know back when we were, I used to work gun shows and we sold some personal guns and things like that, but mainly we did, the cheap knives and just self-defense equipment and stuff like that. Sure. And one thing that's really cool, really cheap, and there's a bunch of different variants out there that I think are neat, are these knuckle weapons. They have them that are keychains, they have them that are money clips, they have them that are wallet binders, belt buckles. They just have tie clips. I mean, they have just all kinds of little knuckle weapons, and some of them are blunt, some of them are sharp. Just depends on which ones they are, and they're very reasonably priced. And then outside of that, maybe something like a monkey fist or something like that on a keychain. I think would be beneficial. Like I said, not stuff I've had some experience with, not anything I've particularly carried.
Yeah.
I just want to throw in, I carry my revolver, says, I got 19 flashlights and 26 knives. Yes, guns isn't my only problem.
Right.
Claymores and tripwires. Let's see here. Patriot says they say never run with scissors because it's dangerous. Sean Green says he carries a recording of Hillary crying. That scares him away every time.
That would probably do the job, man. I don't know.
It would. Kleshnikov says that we hear that Browning is no longer producing high powers. Yeah, that came out about a week ago. That's not really surprising to a certain extent. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of manufacturers with declining quote unquote gun sales. We've always seen what Remington's going through right now with trying to get some financing to go the bankruptcy side. Obviously, that doesn't mean they're going to shut down. It just means they've got a lot of bonds that are going to be outstanding here in the next couple of years. So they're trying to position themselves financially to sustain so they don't have to close down. But I think you're going to see a lot of the firearm manufacturers cutting back on different models. The R&D just in alone for designing new firearms is going to take up a lot of their budget, to where I think you're going to start seeing some of these companies that are going to basically specialize in 2, 3, 4, 5 different models and not have this huge arsenal that's available, because I think it's just too much demand on their capital that they're having. They're obviously not seeing the revenue coming in over the last couple of years. So that I don't think that's going to be anything new. What do you guys think? Do you think that you're going to start seeing a lot of these manufacturers cutting models out?
You might start to see maybe some streamlining, maybe some of the older models start to get pushed out. Like Taurus is starting to rename some of their models, or they're starting to enhance them a little bit, and then they're moving out older models. I think you're going to maybe start to see that a little bit. Like, I think that, like with Ruger, I don't think they even make the 9Es anymore. I don't even know what's on their website anymore. And that's only been out for about 3 or 4 years. That's just the cheaper version of the SR9. You know, Taurus is they're redesigning the G2 Millennium G2s now called the G2Cs, and they got rid of the PT809s and some of the other models too. So you might start to see some streamlining a little bit. You know.
Yeah, I carry my revolver out there. Has a good question, and this is something that we can go through the room. Also, wanted to know if any of us have a dedicated truck/gun car gun. And yeah, I've got a couple different guns that I keep in the truck. I've got a pistol. I got an AR that I rotate in and that out with the AK pistol, depending on what I'm doing, where I'm going. How much I want to have shown and all that. But yeah, I at least, besides my EDC that's with me, I'll at least usually have at least a couple more guns in any vehicle that I'm at. What do you guys, I want to through the room, you guys go ahead and jump in and out, but you guys have any dedicated guns that you carry in the truck or car?
Yeah, for me, you know, I park at a high school parking lot, so my gun has to be locked up at all times. So unfortunately, the AR pistol only comes with me when I'm on the road. I take that with me, and then my truck gun is just my Taurus PT92.
Yep.
I keep that in a lockbox with 2 spare magazines, and then that's there. It's locked up, and it's in a, you know, it has to be secured and so on. And so that's what I have to do when I'm parked at my job. And then I do travel with either an AR, either a pistol or just a carbine. That's pretty much it for me. Well, then my concealed carry piece also, but yeah.
Yeah, the concealed carries, you know, it's just given. But, you know, I don't count that. Like I said, I kind of switch back as far as my truck gun, handgun. I go between my 17 and my 34. You know, I kind of whichever flavor I'm feeling. I like both of them, but I'll always have that and either an AR or AK pistol. That I love both of them. But Tack, do you have any dedicated car truck guns?
Oh, I'm gonna catch some shit for this one.
Okay, awesome to hear.
Like if you said right this minute, what is? I have a micro Roni for the Glock 19 in the car. It's in the.
What's
back.
wrong with that?
Nothing.
I thought you were gonna say Sky CPX2. You know,
no.
Jimenez
or something. You know, I was like, I'm gonna give you hell for a Jimenez, but you know,
no. It's again. I've trained with it. I actually am. Again, I can train people on how to use it. I'm qualified. I've got certificates and all that shit. I know that thing inside and out. I can convert a Glock into that pretty damn quickly, and it does increase. I mean, it increases your. I say it makes 50 yards a lot easier. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah.
And I have videos out there where I'm shooting it standing, just shooting a regular Glock, and then I switch over to that. And again, it definitely increases your ability to shoot long range. Would I rather have a dedicated 5.56 pistol? Absolutely. And a lot of times that's what I'd much rather have, because I have like the takedown AR-15 pistols and that kind of stuff. Those are heavy. That's the first thing. And the thing about the Roni is I can leave that in the car.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't care if anyone breaks into the car and gets that.
Yeah.
They're going to get a 30-round stick mag too. Okay. But they're not going to get a gun. And the responsibility of carrying an AR pistol, you know, that's got to go with you everywhere in my mind. You can't. It's like a dog. You can't even leave that in the car when you go into the Starbucks.
No, you're right. That's unfortunate, isn't it?
It is what it is. But
yeah. When you're out and about, obviously not at school, I guess you could leave it in your car at school like Travis does, but do you have a dedicated truck or car gun?
No, actually, I don't. It's either my carry or the Glock 26 that I have with me. And yeah, I could at the school, but I don't know. You know, we have safe harbor here, but I don't know. It just, you know, you got to have it locked all the way up, tethered to the seat, blah, blah, blah. And
it's almost
no. Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm literally, I'm a mile and a half from the house, and like, I'm shooting there and I'm shooting back. Now, if we're going somewhere, yeah, we'll usually carry an extra one, or she'll have one near her because she doesn't have her CCW yet. But, you know, in that case, doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's about it.
I know that you've already talked about some of the stuff you carry in the truck and all that, but I mean, I was kind of like me with things rotate maybe a bit, but do you have a dedicated something that stays in the truck most of the time?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got a dedicated probably 20 rifles, shotguns, pistols, and everything. They're all 22 caliber, pretty much, but that stay in there all the time. It seems like, but my XM177 copy stays in there a lot.
Okay.
It's a copy. I don't have a lot with it. It's extremely light. Obviously, you know anything about the XM177 carry handle, open sight. Just a 20-round magazine in there, but I mean, I've got a couple of extra magazines as well that are in range bags. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if I've got to get to a truck gun, things have gotten really, 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 really bad.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I'm probably more apt to be bugging out somewhere than, looking to get to the truck for a firefight. Honestly.
Yeah. I want to touch on a couple chats out there on the there's a lot of messages being deleted by G-Webs on the Gun Channel side. I'm not really sure what's going on, but okay.
Hungry this evening, man. Holy cow.
That's the new upgrade. It's a
deleted by G-Webs. But the thing is, he's deleting his own messages, So
racist.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Angry. Yeah. Angry wants in. Yeah, come on in, Angry. Come on in, brother. Got you a link to send over there. On the YouTube side, Cal says he would carry a Makarov or a 1911 or a TAC 14 shotgun in the car when he gets one because he doesn't drive right now. But those would be some interesting truck or car guns. Yeah. Travis, I don't know. Is Travis T? He's like Travis the fourth or third, or
he's the third. He's the Travis the third. Yeah, he's the third in the lineage. Yeah.
He says he doesn't keep it in the truck anymore because his area is prone to random car burglary, and that is unfortunate. Something that a lot of people have to deal with is the burglary. So yeah, I understand that. Let's see here. Rich thought that Pack was going to say a RAS 47.
Oh my!
Let's see here, yeah.
I have a RAS 47 pistol and a Draco that I would take in the car.
I can't even. Oh, you do have a RAS 47, huh?
I have the pistol. They work.
I don't have one. Let's see here. I'm so behind here. Sorry about that, guys. AR pistols when he travels out of the area. This is Travis T, and usually 2 guns on him. Let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. I do get behind, but I want to make sure I touch on everybody out there. Not touch everybody, but touch on everybody's comments. It's not that kind of a chat. Squib says it would be great if the law would change in Michigan, but at least you can have a CPL. And I guess a CPL is what we call a CCW or whatever, CHL. Every state kind of calls it a different thing. But let's see here. Midnight Range says Ghost on road trips. We've taken the Stevens 320. It's always nice to have a shotty. Yeah, shotguns are probably going to be a relatively, I would say, a popular choice for a truck gun, especially if you get like a Maverick 88 or something that's relatively inexpensive. And I don't remember who was talking earlier in the chat, but it's one of those things where I think it might have been TAC that says, if someone does break in, they take it. It's not like you've got something that's going to be, killing the bank that you can't replace really easily. But yeah, I would say a shotgun because pretty much anyone can handle a shotgun. Anyone can fire a shotgun and be relatively, accurate with it at 30 to 40 feet, So I would say that, yeah, shotgun's probably going to be a pretty popular choice for a truck rifle or gun or whatever you want to say. Let's see here. Cal says he'd take an AK-74 pistol and 545. Yeah, I like an AK-74. That 545 round's pretty good. It won't over-penetrate. Yeah. I do like the 545 round, especially in a home defense. You could use something like that, depending upon how close your neighbors are. If you live in a 0 lot line, then I might not. But if you have any space at all, a 545 and a 74 pistol would be something that I think would be a decent choice for maybe a home defense gun as well. Let's see here. I'm not even going to say what Rich says about you, Clover. It's all good.
It's Rich. He's the 1%, so he's always got to be. You know how the man is. Man's always got to be coming down.
Yeah, a Revolver says he paid $250 for a Smith 5906. It stays in the truck. Pacini says his car is a 1,500-pound weapon. That is true. People do tend to forget about your car can be a weapon, for sure. Guys, we're going to take a quick station break, and John, take it away.
Here at Ghost Tactical, you are always invited to check out our website at www.ghosttactical.us, where you will find all of our social media links, including Patreon, and shop for your favorite Ghost Tactical apparel and gear at www.ghosttactical.us. You can also find out more information on Drill of the Month and links to many Second Amendment organizations. So check out online home of Ghost Tactical at www.ghosttactical.us.
Right on. Thanks for that, John. And we're gonna continue this a little bit because I like this conversation, but I want to talk a little bit about in the house. And there are some things that you can do in the house to prepare for a home invasion. Are there any, besides hiding guns in different places, are there anything that you guys work on or do? Do you have hidden guns or hidden mags, or do you have lights here and there? I mean, what do you guys do for let's hope it never happens, but a home invasion? Because, I know a lot of people have guns, but do you just have them in your nightstand, or do you guys, I'm not asking you to tell us where they are, because that's just stupid. Do you guys have hidden guns throughout the house, or bats or anything like that?
I guess I can start off. In our place, the rooms that we use, we've got a few guest bedrooms. We don't keep any firearms in there, but like the main rooms that we use, I would say that there is a firearm, if not two, in each of those rooms. Including maybe say like the laundry room is always a good place to have some kind of a weapon. You never know if you're going to be working downstairs and somebody's going to kick the door in. And I mean, I'm not trying to sound paranoid, but I do live in a town that has maybe 1 to 2 break-ins per month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we're only in a town of 10,000. So you've got some high odds if you average it up over the course of a year. And so a lot of the times that happens during the day when people are at work, but we've had people sleeping, in their homes, like old people sleeping, and people break into their house and nobody's home. So we got a lot of old people that don't have cars that use the community bus to get around. And so people see a house just sitting there. They don't ever see anybody coming in, coming out. They go kick the door in on a Tuesday afternoon at 2:00. So, I don't think you could ever be too prepared. I don't want to play the odds. That's why I keep weapons in areas that we frequent.
Yeah, there are places that, and I'll tell you that the people forget about stuff like baseball bats, golf clubs. They are things that can help if if you have them staged kind of throughout the house. Sometimes people are in your house, you may not know it, and if they kind of catch you by surprise, but you've got a baseball bat or a golf club or something around the corner, you can at least maybe get a hold of them with something that, people forget about that kind of stuff, but that does happen. John, what about you? Do you have any, do you like to hide things around the house in case you're in a different part of the house than where your gun is, or if you take your gun off when you're at the house?
I usually keep something over here, and
over there. Okay.
In the kitchen, I usually keep it on top by in the living room.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be secret. Shh.
That's why I told you where they are. I just ask if you do, keep stuff around the house.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tech, you and your family, you got a great family and a couple kids running around, and you keep things spread out throughout the house, different sectors of the house, just in case.
Yes, allegedly, no, maybe. But
Maybe
the other
not,
part of that is the dog. I'll bring up the dog.
Yeah.
First line of defense.
Absolutely.
She is a protector. She knows her role. She sleeps downstairs. She knows she will give us fair warning, verbally or auditorily, I should say,
right?
That would enable me enough time to get something and at least get to a position where the family is now behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it there. But
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
that's the big one on top of 2 or 3 other levels. If you get to her, there's already other things that are happening that are making us aware of this situation as well. And you're going to be in a bad position if you decide to keep coming upstairs. It's just that way. That's how I defend the house. Now, when we're all downstairs, same thing. There's always something accessible and everybody's trained.
Right. Absolutely. Grim, what about you?
All right, am I back now? There we go.
Yeah,
I know.
you're back.
You know, after John, you know, I think at things there, over there. I don't know. My house is my house is a minefield with the 4 little ones still here. But no, yeah, there's in the main rooms. There's there's some blunt objects. There's sharp things, and there are things we can do desk pops with.
That's correct.
Or room pops with. But no, I mean, yeah, we have, there's little things around the house, even outside of the house, just like you said, just those objects that sometimes you don't think of as, at least a weapon or at least to keep someone away. But there's always little things. Worst case, I'll pop out the kids' Nerf guns or those air guns they have, and we'll just do a firing line with all 5 of us, all 6 of us, just
letting it go. I like what Pants says on the gun channel side. He says he piles sandbags up around the perimeter inside the house, and then at PKM on a tripod behind the sandbags, pointing the door just in case the North Koreans invade. I love it. Always be prepared for that North Korean invasion. I love that. Clover, you got stuff stashed or anything? I'm sure you do. You probably like I am. You got stuff everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. The way my house is laid out, a couple of things. First of all, and I've got no kids at home really anymore. So
right,
the youngest is in college and is seldom home, just on break type thing. So I really don't have to worry about that anymore. So with the way my house is laid out, it's really fairly easy. And sort of echo what Tack said. I've got an ankle biter, but one thing about her is she's gonna let me know something ain't right. Right. I'm gonna get there's no doubt. I mean, she's not gonna take an intruder down. She'll wear the soles of their shoes out or the bottom of their britches leg. That's about it.
That they're there, but
they're not gonna sneak in. There's nobody that's gonna sneak into my house and catch me off guard. That's just not gonna happen. And my wife will disagree with this. But I keep my house, I keep plenty of booby traps. My wife calls it clutter, but yeah, I call it booby traps. So,
all right. So let me ask you this, and I'll ask everybody this, and you guys can just feel free to jump on in whenever. But all right. So I'm assuming everyone here has probably seen The Punisher, right? The latest season of The Punisher. Now, when he's in the warehouse or the dungeon in the couple of last episodes when it was just an amazing fight scene, anybody here ever think about putting the gunpowder in the light bulbs? How awesome was that idea? It might be a little dangerous, but that was a really cool idea.
I've thought about it now.
Yeah. Because every one of us has at least a light that could not be used as much. And you put that in there, and if nothing else, it's going to scare the bejesus out of them. You flip that light on, and it just explodes. That was I never thought about that idea, but that's a really cool idea. I tell you something that I've actually gone to do in the last few months is, and it just so happened that I had like an electrical outlet, where you plug in stuff in the wall, that I have to get rewired. But it was in a spot that we never had anything plugged in it anyways. And I tell you what I did, and these are really cool ideas. I don't know, a video or a TV show or something. I'm not really sure what I was watching. They're talking about place to hide extra mags or a knife or something like that. And if you've got any air vents or electrical outlets that you're not going to use, those are great places to store an extra magazine throughout the house. Like I said, a knife or a flashlight or something inside that light socket, the electric socket. Obviously, you want to disconnect the wires and all that, and just kind of have that faceplate just kind of there as a prop. People aren't thinking about that stuff, but there are some really cool ideas that I've seen of being able to stage extra mags, or I guess you could probably put in a little 380 in one of those things and kind of hide them in there. Now, obviously, we have places like tactical walls where you have these hidden shelf mirrors and tables and nightstands and bed headrests and all that. Those are awesome. They're very expensive, but they are pretty cool like that. But there are things that you can do that people are in plain sight that doesn't cost you anything. And so I've actually kind of gone throughout the house and picked out several little electrical outlets that are not being used or utilized. And yeah, we'll throw a couple mags in there or something like that. And we keep it's kind of strange. Our house is kind of set up the living room, and then in each four corners of the living room are bedrooms and all of that stuff. So it's kind of a strange layout. Unfortunately, it's not real good logistically for a break-in because everyone's kind of spread out. But that being said, is we do have things spread out throughout the house. We call them different sectors of our different sectors of the house and zones, whatever you want to call it. And
Sector 1 to Sector 2 come in.
What's that? Would you say there's Clove?
I was just saying with the Dremel tools and some of the things you have now that makes it so easy to cut into drywall. Exactly. And some of the boxes and different plates and things they've got, it would be really easy to do what you're talking about and retrofit or modify. You could just cut a hole and then put you wouldn't even need a shelf per se. You could take and just tie a string, some paracord or something to the back of that vent or whatever, and then maybe a carabiner clip and hang the carabiner clip into the trigger guard or something like that, and just let the pistol fall down onto the
exactly
inside the wall. Pull it out. That way you can pull it out, and go, or the knife or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and I know Tardot is out there, and he's talking about Tardot has actually built a lot of his own hidden shelf furniture and stuff. So if you guys are out there looking for something, get a hold of Tardot, because I think he can build some stuff for you. But he's talked about different stuff with his bed storage and all sorts of stuff. But going back to what you were saying, Clover, is we actually have done that. We've actually taken some of the floor air vents, and lifted them up, tied some string or paracord, and drop it down about 6 inches. And absolutely, we just clip it on right there, and it's right there. It's very easy. It doesn't affect the flow of the air at all, and it's very, very accessible anywhere anyone can get to it. So, it's stuff like that, and be creative. You don't have to spend a lot of money on a lot of this stuff. It's really as simple as being creative and being innovative on having what you have at the house, and just finding places that, there are some places that people are going to naturally look. So don't put them in your sock drawer. Don't put them, this, that, and the other. But I've heard people putting them in empty cereal boxes in the kitchen or the pantry like that people typically don't look at, which is, I think, is really innovative. So
I think Squib has a great idea.
What did Squib say?
Take all your banana peels and just leave them by the doors. So if someone doesn't break through a door, at least they'll slip and break their neck.
Right. Yeah, we have a big old, kind of what you guys are saying. Also, we have a big old Great Dane. And if you know anything about Great Danes, they are not the most ferocious dogs in the world, but they are menacing looking. They're enormous dogs. And they're very, very protective of their family. So he does like to bark. He's getting older, so it's kind of not as loud of a bark, but he will bark. We also have a little security system on the house, but it's kind of like what Tack was saying. Some of the guys were saying that if someone breaks in the house and before they even kind of step foot anywhere besides 2 or 3 feet inside the house, they're going to not enjoy what's coming their way, because we have enough safety measures and alert systems, if you will, that will take care of that. It is 10 till. I think we got one more station break. Is that correct, John?
That's correct, Ghost.
All right, go for it.
I was just checking up on my soup. Okay, so at Ghost Tactical, we encourage the support of any and all new firearm content creators who are willing and able to turn the camera on. We are excited about the influx of new creators and are working effortlessly to get these up-and-coming stars noticed. We at Gun Channels have created a program to spotlight newer channels while increasing their brand awareness. We are calling this the Gun Channels Blitz. All we ask is that you, as the viewer subscriber, visit the channel that we select for the Gun Channels Blitz. If you like the channel and content, please subscribe to that channel and use the hashtag Gun Channels Blitz when leaving your comments for that channel's video. Tonight's channel is Roosted Films.
Right on. Yeah, Roosted is thanks, John. Roosted is he has excuse me, he has reached that 100 subscriber mark. He's got a little over 115, 117, something like that. He's put some stuff on the last few months, really good stuff. So go check him out. And like I said, we're not asking you to just automatically sub because we're calling the Gun Channels Blitz on Roosted. What we're saying is go check his channel out. If you like the content that he's putting out, go find a video that you enjoy, subscribe to that channel, and leave a comment in one of those videos saying, hey, good stuff, and you've been hit by the Gun Channels, hashtag Gun Channels Blitz. So, like I said, yeah, Roosted does some good stuff. But yeah, go check him out, and he's one of the young guns that are out there right now. And like I said over on Ellis's chat earlier, I'm really excited as to the direction that there's so many new content creators that's able and willing to turn their cameras on. And that's such a positive thing in the last few months, because the more people we can get out there spreading the message, the stronger that the 2A and gun community on the social media gets. So, and it's not necessarily YouTube. It could be Instagram. It could be anything. Starting a new blog. If you like to write, start a new blog up. And that's just as important as anything else. But go out there and support these guys and gals. And if you got the crazy feeling, turn the camera on or start your own blog up or whatever, because it's really, really important. But like I said, it's really exciting to see so many new faces turning the cameras on and creating content out there. And I know the guys on the panel, do you guys have anything to say about not just about Roosted, but just about the excitement that we've been having the last few months with all the new shows and everything?
It is cool having a lot of new content popping up there, and I'm finding myself unsubbing from some of the larger channels I've been subscribed to. Part of it was just because of the whole 2A rallies and the lack of support that I saw on some of those channels. So they lost my sub. But, you know, it seems like every time I'm looking on Gun Channels, there's one of these people that has been commenting, say on, you know, NEA's Monday or Wednesday night chats for years, now putting his own videos up or her own videos up. And that's just cool. I think that maybe it's inspiring people to kind of get out there and just turn the camera on and have some fun. And I think that's part of the deal, you know?
Yeah, and don't worry about if it's the greatest quality or if it's polished. I mean, just turn it on and talk and speak your heart and all of that. And if you're wanting to do a review or something like that, and you don't want to go out and buy anything to review, surely you've got a holster or a gun or something that you can then review at the house, or go to the range. Next time you go to the range, just film yourself and put it up there. And I tell you, another one is cleaning a gun. You know, if you've got a gun that maybe not everybody has, it's not a common gun, and you're cleaning it one day, go ahead and show you how to, you know, take it down and clean everything and put it back. Because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's probably wondering, I got this gun, but I can't figure out how to take it down. But, you know, there's one of those things that don't ever be afraid. Anything that's gun related that's out there is quality and it's worthwhile. So don't be afraid to turn it on. The last thing I wanted to kind of get into is some Second Amendment stuff, and I want to talk real quickly about the NRA. And we all know that there is issues that we've all had with the NRA, and we've all talked about getting different people on the board. And And one of my biggest things that I've been trying to talk about is we need someone who is a public face, who's respected, obviously being pro-gun, but someone that is known to get on that board and all of that. And I'm going to share my screen real quick because I'm excited about an announcement that came through a couple days ago. And Julie Golub is a world champion competitive shooter. We did a video with her at SHOT Show. Great person. She has thrown her name in the hat for running for NRA board. So if you are a voting member of the NRA and you have the ability to vote for the NRA board, I'm not saying to go vote for Julie because I say so. By no means. I'm never going to tell anyone to vote because someone else says to. But go to Julie Golub, www.juliegolub.com. Julie is a veteran. She is a mother. She's obviously a competitive shooter, world champion. She's an author, and she does so much for the firearms community. It's all about teaching kids, educating kids and parents about the safety of firearms, being safe, and the proper mechanics and fundamentals. She's an instructor. She's exactly what the NRA needs because she is in the gun community a big dog. She is very well known. She is not afraid to speak her mind. And I think what she's trying to do in my conversations with her is going to try to maybe bring back a little bit of the teaching, education, and training side of the NRA, which I'm going to quit sharing this. But yeah, there's an Instagram post, vote Julie Golub for NRA, juliegolub.com. So go check that out. But what I want to say about the NRA is we've all discussed about what we think should happen with the NRA. We all know that it was very, very good when it was education training. Education and training were actually for a long, long time until the ILA came around. That's what it was there for. And I think that if they went back to those roots, I think the NRA could be something that we all get behind again. It's just the political arm of the ILA is kind of thrown everybody for a loop, and LaPierre and by himself has changed. And I don't really want to get down that rabbit hole, but you know, what I want to do is with Julie. I'm not saying just Julie, but you know, is someone that's a quote unquote celebrity, or is it important to get? What kind of person would you, if you were a voting member of the NRA, what kind of person would you want to see get on the board and hopefully ascend maybe to a more powerful leadership role in the NRA? Is it someone who's got the legal sense, the political sense, or is it someone who's more media savvy, or, you know, what kind of person? We've all talked about how we would like to see the NRA change, but let's talk about real quick what kind of people we want to see in the NRA. We'll start with Clover. We'll start from the other end.
Well, I think you need people. I think you need the people that have. I think you need people that have a following, that have reach. You know, I don't want to hang it out there on celebrity. You know, in the sense of, you know, an actor or an actress or something like that necessarily. But as long as they have, you know, a public following, a fairly large public following, a fairly loyal public following, and they're an influential person. In other words, they can influence that following. Then I think that's a plus. Outside of that, they really need to be the type of person, in my opinion, that is going in there to shake things up. They're going in there to stand with us that's out here, that's going, the NRA's broken. We've got to do something, whether we burn it down, whether we get rid of LaPierre, whether we get rid of Cox, whether we change the board, whatever we do. There's a lot of opinions on what we do. And regardless, I think we've got to get people in there. If we're going to vote people in to, you know, to that board, we've got to vote people in there that are going to be vocal, that they stand with us, that the NRA has to change in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Do they have the power? Maybe they don't have the power. But if they get in there and as board members and everything, they're vocal about all of this needs to change, then maybe they can start to fracture some things from within. And if the NRA has pressure from within and pressure from the outside, then maybe we can start seeing something happen.
Yeah, Bikes and Bullets says someone who is common, articulate, and non-bar member would be a good choice. What people understand though is about the NRA board. I want to say there's like 70 or 75 board members, so it's not like it's a 10-person board where I think there needs to be a mixture of some lawyers on that board for legalities, obviously. But I do like what you're saying. Someone who is willing and able to shake things up. Because that's what the NRA needs right now. Grim, what do you think?
The only thing I have to piggyback on that is just, as we said, just someone to stand firm, shake it up, not be afraid that, that there's going to be some conflict there. Like Clover was saying there, like to truly stand with us, have that following and not be afraid. Not be afraid to back down or, let's, whatever we're going to do, build it, burn it, whatever it may be, to actually shake things up, at least to get them to thinking of what they're doing. Hopefully there's some kind of like aha moment or something. So that's just my.
No, absolutely. I agree. Tack, what you got? What would you like to see happen with the NRA makeup of the board?
I've got nothing to add to this discussion that would.
I understand.
do anything to bolster or detract from it.
I hear you. John, you got anything? Guess not. I guess John's checking on his soup. I'll tell you what, and this is one of those things where D-Temp actually puts an interesting comment out there, and he said someone like Yankee. And I don't know if Yankee personally, but there are a lot of worse choices of having someone like Yankee, someone who does have influence, someone who is not afraid to say what's exactly on his mind, whether you like it or not. Someone said that Eric Pratt with the GOA would be a great one to have full reign of the NRA. I don't think Eric Pratt's going. I think that he's going to take the GOA to whole new levels. I love Eric Pratt. And Andrew, did I get your email? Yes, I did. I did get your email. Everything went out last week. You should be getting it here pretty soon. So I did get your email, Andrew. But anyways, I don't think Eric Pratt's leaving, but someone like Yankee. That's our Mac, Tim with Military Arms Channel. I think that's someone like that who does have massive support and following. And I would say Yankee would be an interesting thing, but I would personally love to see Tim, because I think Tim has the respect of everybody in the community, because he has proven that he is not afraid to say what he has to say. But someone
he's gonna be boycotting the NRA at the meeting this year. So there's a chat out there you need to go check out before you talk further about that one.
Well, no, I understand, and I understand that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying I think someone like Tim would be someone who would be a great person to be on that board. Obviously, Tim and all that are probably not going to get on, but I'm saying someone like that who's not afraid to speak their mind, to rock the boat, and does have a following. I don't want to see Coleon. I don't want to see Eric. I don't want to see Hickok and these guys that are just going to be NRA yes boys. The NRA, if they ever want to get back on the good graces of everything, they need to be shaken up. They need to change what they're doing, change direction. I think the best thing, I think Clover and I were talking, I don't know if it was on air or off air, but several of us were talking. I think the best thing that could happen to the NRA is splitting the entities of the NRA and the ILA. I think that nothing good has happened since the ILA became prominent as far as the NRA goes. I think it needs to be split. And an NRA kind of goes back to education and training, and the ILA, they can go do their thing, and you can give your money to either or. There are a lot of people that, what's that?
Or just dump the ILA all together and let the GOA handle that aspect of it.
That's just good. Let the GOA and the Second Amendment Foundation do their thing through the courts and the politics. But I know that I know that Tim's not going to, I get that, and I'm not saying Tim exactly, but someone like Tim that's got mass appeal, that has a lot of respect. And I would actually would say Tim. And I know that might not ever happen because they're probably going to blacklist them and all of that. But here's the thing. Why would you be afraid of having someone like Tim in there? I think that all he's going to do is bring up topics that need to be brought up. And if they're afraid of hearing criticism, then that means they know they're doing something wrong. So I would think that Tim, Yankee, sure. I mean, either one of them. I think that all of those kind of guys that are not afraid would be wonderful choices. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, I'll point to what Grand out there he just said. He said if the NRA doesn't listen to the board, doesn't matter who's on it. And I believe, yes, it does. And it's like I just said in my little monologue there. If you can get enough members on that board that are speaking in unison with us out here, then you might start creating fractures within the organization. Are they going to be able to vote out anybody or vote to make changes? No, I don't think anybody is under any delusions, or at least most of us out here know that changing that board completely is not going to allow them a position because of bylaws and other things to be able to just sign things and make changes. However, if they're inside there and there's that split amongst board members or between them and the ILA, and they're sort of creating a ruckus, so to speak, a disconnect inside the organization, then that could help. That could be a benefit. And I think this is a multi-solution issue. I don't see this. You have the people that says we got to change the board, the people that says let it burn down, the people that says, well, you got to split the NRA from the ILA, the people that say you got to get rid of Cox, you got to get rid of LaPierre. And I don't think anybody is necessarily wrong. I think it's going to have to be a combination of all of those things. And I think we need to come together under the banner of it needs to change, whether it burns down and is rebuilt or it's split or whatever happens, it needs to change. And so let's attack it from all of these sides instead of arguing over which side is better. When you go to war, you've got an air game, you've got you've got the cavalry that goes in, you've got your air support, you've got your boots on the ground, you've got all of these different methods of attack. And that's my take on this. That's the approach we need to make.
What were you saying, John?
I just want to throw this in before I say my final piece. Square says, how about term limits for board members? And I totally agree with that. So one of the ways I make certain decisions in these kind of situations is I see three things.
Okay.
There's your truth, my truth, and the real truth.
Correct.
So you gotta look at it as the people who have been in the system too long that they're corrupt. The people who are not in the system, but you're not sure who exactly you want to get in there. And then you have the people who are in the quote-unquote system, like Julie Golub, for example, since we've mentioned her in the past. Her consistency, her track record for support of the Second Amendment and the Constitution is representative of the kind of person that obviously all of us would want in an organization as large as the NRA. That's how I look at it, and I try to do the research and try to determine when I have the vote. That's my calculation to determine who's going to get my vote. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't have the options. But like Clover said, it's a long shot, but it's still a shot.
Yeah, and I'll say this, as far as what Squib was saying about term limits on the board, I think that's a must. But I think it needs to go even further, is saying, why don't we have term limits for the executive committee, like Wayne LaPierre and all those people? Wayne LaPierre's been there for so long that he's untouchable in his eyes, and he's going to do whatever he wants. But why not have a 5-year term limit or 4-year term limit on the executive committee as well of the NRA? That way that we know that we're getting fresh ideas. And yeah, it's probably going to turn into a good old boys club, and they're just going to elect the people that they want to elect because, let's remember, unfortunately, they don't audit the NRA board elections and all of that. but maybe they do start auditing the executive committee elections and putting limits on those people to where we are getting fresh faces and we are getting fresh ideas every 4 or 5 years or whatever that limit would be. Having one person in charge for 25, 30 years is never good for anything. It turns into a dictatorship, and dictatorships are not good in any situation.
True that.
All right. Do you guys have anything else anybody in here wants to cover as far as the NRA and all of that? Speak your mind now.
One thing I want to say real quick is if the NRA is in fact being bankrolled by the gun industry, because if you look at how much money they bring in versus the number of members they have and the dues money they could potentially collect, there's a lot of cash coming in. It's not coming in from dues money. Might be coming in from private donors and stuff. Until you cut that amount of money out, it's good to have movers and shakers as executive members on the board or just members on the board. But I don't know if you're going to see much change because they can maintain the status quo however they want. And they just don't have to listen to the board. The higher ups don't have to listen to the board if they don't want to. But you need board members that are also going to raise awareness about how much change the NRA definitely needs. But the money's there, and if they can maintain it without having to listen to the board, I don't think you're going to see any change at all. They'll keep doing what they want to do.
Yeah, we had this discussion, I want to say, on Unloaded Media Saturday night with Tardot, Rich, and Gunpowder, and me and Clover were fortunate to join that. And we talked a little bit about this, about the funding of the NRA and where is it coming from. And obviously there is a large number of members that create a lot of revenue. And we were talking about the other revenue, which is like 90-something million, I think, that was brought in from outside sources. And obviously we know that pretty much every manufacturer, at least in some way and monetary value, is going to contribute to the NRA, because the NRA has positioned themselves over the last 30-something years really as putting as the strong arm of the Second Amendment, which I don't believe they are or they should be anymore. But, you know, you were talking about boycotting certain manufacturers, which, you know, the problem you're going to have with that is unless you're willing to boycott pretty much every manufacturer, because
no, I'm not saying boycott the manufacturer. I'm just saying that
I'm not saying you are, but there's a lot of people saying that we should do that. The problem with that whole scenario of boycotting manufacturers is, you know, unless you're buying firearms directly from the company, which 99.99% of us as consumers cannot do, they don't care, you know, necessarily, because they're getting their money from the FFLs. Now, the only way that it will work is if we're not buying their guns and the demand isn't out there. But I don't think that boycotting and all that, and once again, going back to revenue streams, there is a large revenue stream that's coming from outside sources, whether that's from manufacturers or private donations and all of that. So to see your point, Travis, yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult to change someone that doesn't have to necessarily listen to the board. But maybe if you do it like an elections cycle, where every 2 or 3 or 4 years, if Wayne LaPierre wants to keep his position, he's going to have to get reelected. And it's where it's not just an appointment that he's there for until he resigns or gets fired or whatever. Going through a reelection process. So he has to answer the questions from the board and from the members of the NRA as to, you know, be accountable for what he is or isn't doing. That might be something that could be interesting. I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
All right.
Disagree with you, man.
Yeah. Huh?
I just said I don't disagree with you on that. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, it was just one of those things where you know, there's we could sit here all day and talk about what could be changed and how to do it. And there's some comments out there saying that it's not going to matter. I tend to believe that that's probably what's gotten us in the position that we are with the NRA, is no one's ever questioned. No one's ever looked to change the NRA.
Well,
the NRA is what they are.
And that's my thing too. I mean, I just don't think that's going to work. That's not going to matter. I mean, you hear that whether it's Yankee or Tim on certain things, or this person or that person or whatever. There's a whole lot of dissent, and that way is not going to work. That way is not going to work. Well, why can't we try every single way? You know,
yeah.
What's the harm?
Exactly.
What's the harm in a multifaceted attack on the NRA? What's the harm in that?
Nothing.
Right.
Can I throw something out there to consider?
Yeah.
I think this has been lost. And it's something that's kind of off topic, but completely on topic.
Go for it.
So the dismissal of Coleon Noir, no one goes after Rosso. No one goes after Lasort. No one goes after any of the other major people from Gabby Franco to anybody else that the NRA has put out there in the same light as a Noir. The bigger piece I'll put out there is to all the people that are on this panel and all the content creators out there, big, small, in between, biggest of the big, bitchingest of the bitchingest. They all forget. This guy woke up one day and, like the rest of us, said, you know what? I'm going to turn on a camera and I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to talk about guns. And when you think about it, because he's black, he took a much bigger risk than most of us did.
Absolutely. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
On top of that, he grew it by himself to the point that the biggest entity in the world sent their advertising agency over to him with an offer on the table that not one single sane dude listening to this ever would have turned down. Not one. And it wasn't about principle back then. There wasn't a bunch of political stuff on the table. They said to him, we're bringing in a bunch of new faces. We want you to be one of them. Here's all the things that we want you to do. And here's the amount of money we're willing to pay you. And everyone forgets that. And now everyone's like, oh, that guy's a shill. Oh, that guy's this. That guy. Oh, stop.
No, I never called him a shill.
All of you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everybody else that's out there, and you all have heard it all week. It's a bunch of bullshit, and you need to get off that guy.
No, what my point was is people like Coleon, like Hickok, like Eric, that people know already have a friendly whatever relationship, whether it's business or personal, with the NRA. They already know they're already a part of the NRA family, however you want to call that. What I was saying.
How do you think the top brass and the board at the NRA looks at YouTubers and influencers online in general after last year when they had that roundtable thing?
Well, I like to think they're actually looking at us now, finally. I'd like to believe that they're actually looking at us now. After what happened in October and all of that, they probably didn't notice YouTubers at all, but I'd be willing to bet that they notice us now. Not saying me personally, but what I'm saying is we need to have someone that's out there that is not on the payroll or in the, I'm not going to say payroll. They're not part of the NRA family that gets on there, because we cannot be afraid to question power. We shouldn't be afraid to question the status quo. There's 70 or 75 board members. Does one make a difference? I think it could, because if there's someone out there that's willing to call the rest of the board out, that can't be a bad thing. You know, I'm not saying they're going to help.
So last year, this powerhouse of YouTube channels got behind a certain guy to go get votes. And did you see the tally on how many votes he got? It was abysmal. It was a joke. I understand the need and the want for these things that we're all talking about, and I'm all for it. But there's a reality, and everyone seems to be ignoring it. Now, I'm not saying they're unstoppable. I'm not saying you can't change it. I'm not saying that there can't be change. But this whole, let's just get some people on the board, and from inside, we'll change everything around. I don't know. Seems to me like they've got pretty much on lockdown. Seems to me like they make rules as they see fit, as it goes, and that's the way it's set up, and that's how they run it. Good luck.
And I get that, and I'm saying that wouldn't it be nice to have someone who's not afraid of voicing their opinion, that actually has people that can or will listen to them, to sit there and say, I don't think this is exactly right, you know?
Scott Baio, what happened to him? He was talking on our behalf for a while there, and then all of a sudden he disappeared.
I hadn't seen Scott Baio in a couple years. You know, when I was at SHOT, I was actually talking to Joe Montana for a few seconds, and I said, man, you should run for NRA president. And he says, I just don't have the time. And I get that, you know, and you got these guys that are, you know, still active in all that. But, you know, Joe Montana is very much a gun guy, and has a show actually on the Outdoor Channel on Wednesday nights that talks about guns and all that. And I get what you're saying, Tack. I do. And I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I'm saying that if we always have that mentality of it doesn't matter or they're going to do what they want to do, I'm saying, wouldn't it be nice if we could get someone elected that might shake it up a little bit and just see what happens? You know, what's that old thing? You shake the tree, something might fall. You never know what's going to fall if you shake that tree. You know, I just think it'd be nice, because here's the thing is we all know that change is needed in the NRA, whether it's minute or major. We all know that the NRA, the way it has been going, is going to have to evolve. So why not want more out of it? They are the most recognizable organization the Second Amendment has. Whether you agree with that or not, you agree with what they do or not, they are who they are. But wouldn't it be nice for them to evolve a little bit and get a little bit stronger at some areas and not be so predicated on being the political strong arm of the Second Amendment, and maybe, you know, do some good instead of playing 3D chess when everybody's playing checkers? I mean, we all know that's crap, but I'm not trying to start an argument with you, but I will say this is, I'm not saying anything negative about Coleon or any of those guys. I'm just saying someone who is not known already to be involved with the NRA is who I'm looking for. Does that make sense?
100%. And it's not an argument. It's an adult discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on.
So
well,
anybody?
I want to throw something in here real quick too. And I mean, it's just like Tech says. I mean, I don't think one thing is going to do it. You know, the reality is they block down their organization to where it's almost impossible, you know, for the members, which is what that organization is supposed to stand for, you know, to actually get anything done. And I think bottom line, that's where the problem is they're flat not listening to the member. And you know, the beauty behind this, the silver lining, if you will, is, you know, we've got the GOA. So, you know, the GOA is growing. I mean, throw some support that way. And, you know, while we try to figure out how we attack the NRA, how we go after the NRA, how we deal with the NRA, how we potentially change the NRA or completely bring it down, we build up the GOA in the process. And the more the GOA is built up, you know, then potentially the more threatened the NRA will feel as well. So, I mean, that helps our approach, you know, whatever that approach may end up being against the NRA.
Exactly. Anybody have anything else before we start doing some SHOT Show swag giveaways? I don't want to step on Night Strike too much. Some people have already left, and sorry to hear that they're leaving, but that just means better odds for some of you guys going to get some giveaway gear. You guys have anything?
No.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and do some giveaways for SHOT Show, and then Tack has got a couple items that he's going to be willing to give away as well. If you become a winner of one of the items, that we're going to let me put this real quick. If you're a winner, what we need
Yankee Marshall's paying for shipping.
Yankee Marshall is paying for shipping. If you are a winner, please email your name and address to live@ghosttactical.us. It's all up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to say this. Should we make it to where you can only win one item tonight, so we don't have one person getting everything?
Sure.
I think once you've won one item tonight, then you can't win another item. So we're going to do that. You can only win one item. We've had an influx of viewers all of a sudden in the last couple of minutes. We went from 33 to 38 real quick. I think they're hearing that we're getting ready to give stuff away.
Right
we
on.
50 something earlier. I guess they went over to watch Night Strike, and that's fine. But that just means more better odds for you guys out there.
They're watching Shaun White at the Olympics. They're not watching Night Strike.
There you go.
Stop it.
Yeah. And by the way, don't say anything because I'm DVRing that right now. Okay, so don't. Chloe Kim, by the way, if you guys didn't watch the Olympics last night, is unbelievable. All right, so the first item I'm going to put in the side chat real quick what the answer is. The first item we're going to give out, let's do this. It's kind of a cool thing. It's a SHOT Show 2018 calendar, and every month it's got different stuff. I mean, it's a really cool little calendar. So we're gonna do the first item will be. Let me get a piece of paper so I can write down who everything is. The SHOT Show calendar. John, do you mind watching the Gun Channel side for me?
Roger that.
The answer is in the side link, but the question for the SHOT Show calendar is the word SHOT in SHOT Show stands for, it's an acronym. What does SHOT stand for in SHOT Show? And we will go with this.
I have no idea. Can I call a friend?
Yeah, this is a cash cab where it's a street side call out or whatever. Everybody must be on Google right now, huh?
Yeah, that's anybody.
Russ Carr. We have a winner.
Russ
We have a winner. All right, Russ Carr, the shooting, hunting,
on YouTube.
outdoors trade show, SHOT Show. Very good. So Russ Carr, go ahead and email me your address. I think I've already got it because you're on the Patreon side, I think. So I've already got it. But just in case, email me your address and all of that, and let me know that you won the calendar. So I've got it written down, but you never know. I am a Marine. I'm not the smartest. What's up, Hottie? Where the hell you been? So I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. All right. So the next one we're going to go with, actually, Tack, do you want to do one of yours real quick?
Yeah, but you got to do the question. I have a CAA AR-15 6-piece grip and some SHOT Show swag.
Some SHOT Shows.
It's an AR-15 pistol grip with the different back straps and everything from CAA.
Awesome.
So this is an awesome gift. Thank you, Tack, for donating to the cause. I don't mind. Go ahead and show that. Thank you for donating to the cause. Let's see here. For this one, we need to. Man, that's all. This is going to be a good one. All right. We're going to do this. I want to put the answer over here. All right. We've talked about it before. But what caliber when on range day, we've talked about it, and he's taken some pictures and video. We've talked about it numerous times. This is going to be a tough one, but what caliber did Clover shoot and tear up the target from 900 meters? What caliber did he shoot at 900 meters? And nope, not the Valkyrie.
Nobody on Gun Channels.
Clover's
Nobody
guessing.
on YouTube.
Hey, Clover's guessing wrong.
Throw them off.
Pyro, know it all. Pyro, the 6.5 Creed. That is correct. So Pyro, send me an email, name, address, and you won the AR-15 pistol grip from Tac Daddy. Email me at live@ghosttactical.us. live@ghosttactical.us. All right. The next thing, this is honestly one of, if not that's my second, probably. It's my second favorite patch from SHOT Show. No offense, Tac, but this patch right here, it's an awesome patch. And it is basically symbolizing that 22 veterans and soldiers die by suicide each day. It is a PTSD awareness patch, which I think is phenomenal. Guys, if you don't understand that PTSD is something that is real, and it is something that our servicemen and women and veterans and law enforcement and firemen, there's a lot of people that suffer from PTSD, and it is a real thing, and they need all the help they can get.
All right,
So,
I'm going to sign off for a minute.
Right on.
Don't forget the reporters that shoot AR-15s and
Right.
Don't put the answer in yet. I'm going to sign off. Hold on.
Oh, he wants it, does he?
That's an awesome patch.
Yeah, the answer is on the side. So the question for this is, awesome patch, what does PTSD stand for? PTSD, what does it stand for?
Nothing on Gun Channels, nothing on YouTube yet.
Nothing on YouTube. You're watching Gun Channels?
Both.
Okay, I've got it. What does PTSD stand for? Clover's close. All right, Gary.
We have a winner.
Gizzard Gary. Did Gary get it, or did you have someone earlier before him?
Gizzy Garrett.
Huh?
Gizzy Garrett is
Yeah,
the
let
winner.
me see. Yep. Gary.
Yep. Making sure that there wasn't anyone else, but Gary, congratulations. You got it is post-traumatic stress disorder. This is an awesome patch. It's really a cool patch. I love the way they did it.
That's a very special win.
It is, and this is something that is, it's real, guys, and people seem to think that it's not, but PTSD is a very real thing. So, awesome patch for Gary. Congratulations. All right. What's up? Oh, I've got one more thing to give away. The answer is on the side. And this is going to be interesting. It might take a little while for this, actually. But the answer is going to be on the side. This next one is going to be Kalishnikov USA t-shirt. It's pretty awesome t-shirt. If you like it, then it could be yours. The question
What size is it?
That's a good question. I don't know. They just threw it to me. It's a large, so even if it might not fit you, you can find someone that would wear that t-shirt. So that being said, I didn't. They just threw one to me. So anyways, so the answer is over there in the side chat. The question is, in my video about the Kalishnikov USA 9mm platform, what was the name of the representative from Kalishnikov that did the interview with me? You might have to go watch that video, huh?
Mm-hmm. And paid attention.
He's a man size, not a midget. Like I said, even if it won't fit you, then possibly give it to someone that might want it and all that.
Just re-giveaway, you know?
There you go.
Right.
Peter Pan.
Someone eventually, hey, Andrew Faulkner. That is correct.
Congratulations.
Ironically, it's your name, which is funny. But yeah, it's Andrew
was a guess.
You know, it very well could have been. It is ironic, you know, and it might have just guessed his name. But if it was, Two Hotties says, check who got the PTSD answer first. Did I miss it?
It was Gizzard on mine. That I'm looking right now. It's Gizzard.
On mine,
It was Gizzard on mine.
It was Gizzard,
Is
then
everybody-
Midnight, then Too Hottie is the ones I have in order. At least
But
when they came up.
I have found if you're watching on mobile, then it can invert stuff if they send them in close to the same time. But that's
Right.
only on mobile.
Yeah. Yeah, mine definitely shows Gary.
Andrew says, go ahead and do a redo. It won't fit. What does that mean?
I
guess he's giving it up for someone else to win
giving
it.
it up. So, okay. So Here
you go.
We'll just do it again, I guess. We'll just ask a different question.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta figure out another question then.
I got one in the tire chat. Do this one.
What about it? Oh, the name of it? Yeah, I like that. All right. All right, so let's just do this. We all know now that this shirt is a large. So if you're not a large and you don't want to give it to somebody else, then so be it. Don't vote. If you do want it, or it will fit you, or you can give it to somebody else. If you want the shirt, I want to have answers from people who only want the shirt. If you can't use it or don't want it, then let's stay silent here for a minute and let the people that actually would use it get it, because I really don't want to go through a fourth and fifth drawing. So the question is, the November 2017 drill of the month, what was it called? The November drill of the month, what was it called? So let's see what we have to do to find the answer.
Roll call. He don't care. No, Mohawk boy.
Not the dot torture test. Patriot in the dark.
There you go.
Miles got it. Patriot. It was 16 candles. Now, that's a hell of a transition, isn't it? What we're going to talk about real quick before we get out of here is this month's drill of the month. We had a really cool one last year. With the dot torture back in December. We had the darts last month. What we're going to do this month is called 9-ball. If you're familiar with billiards at all, 9-ball is a game that you shoot 1 through 9 in a row. I'm going to put the link of this month's drill of the month out there. It's a fun little drill. It might only take you 9 shots. All right. The shitheads of tactical. I have no idea what Noah's talking about over there. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I guess I don't really want to know. Anyway, so we're gonna do 9-ball, and the whole premise is it's gonna be 15 feet, and you can download. In the description of the video is the link to download the target. You can download a target. You have to shoot the balls in order 1 through 9. Should you miss or should you hit the wrong ball, you have to start over. So it could take you 9 shots. It could take you however many shots it might take you. It took me 15. I was on the 6th ball and I missed. And so it took me 15 shots because I missed on the 6th, and then I went straight through 1 through 9 the second time around clean. But it took me 15 shots.
I started there were actually balls and pool.
There are, but we're only doing 9-ball. We're not doing 8-ball. 8-ball is and tar dot. Just remember, it is 15 feet, not 15 yards. That would be one hell of a challenge. They did it at 15 yards. This is 15 feet, and it's a fun little drill. Like I said, 1 through 9 in order. If you miss or you hit the wrong ball, you got to start over. So it could take you the link. I'll put the link out there to the video is right there, Yoder. That's the video right there. And in the description is the link for the target download. It's a PDF you can download and print out or whatever. But there's the link to the YouTube video. Make sure it works. Hold on here. It has been kind of odd. There it is. So it does work. So you can go check that out. So it's a fun drill. Like I said, hopefully it only takes you 9 shots, but we'll go from there. Well, guys, it has been, goodness gracious, 1 hour and 40 minutes. I apologize for taking so long, but thank you for sticking around. We were well over 50 tonight there for a while. I know Night Strike has got some of this going. I apologize to Night Strike, but thank you guys for an awesome conversation on a lot of different topics. So Let's run it through the room real quick. And I want to say, first of all, thank you to John for producing the show. Not only are you a great panel member, but you're also doing a great job producing it. It helps me catching a break with commercial breaks and also checking the chats out there, keeping me on my toes. So thank you for all that you do for the show. Appreciate it. But you want to plug anything you got else going on?
I might. I just want to thank everybody for joining us, and don't forget to check out Roosted Films, #GunChannels Blitz, and also don't forget to check out GunChannels.com, where you can catch many, many, many other shows, and all your favorite content creators. So thumb it up, and let's keep the conversation going.
Thanks, John, as always. Tack, what you got, man?
Gun News Weekly Thursday nights. Check it out. Check out funkertactical.com. And thanks again, man. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate you. I appreciate you letting me be fake Ross last week. That was interesting.
Oh, right on.
It was kind of fun for doing that, and hopefully Ross will be back this week.
I never thought I would miss Ross so much. God.
There's your number one, Clove.
Thanks again.
Thank you, buddy. Go check out Funker Tactical. Check out Gun News Weekly tomorrow night. I'm going to throw you out a little bit there and say I'm missing my TAC 365 diary, man.
I know, right?
Accustomed to having that early morning, a few minutes of Tac Daddy, and I'm missing. I know you're busy. Damn, man.
It's like the tactical chicken soup for the soul, man.
It might end up being February completely off. It might be off for a while. I'm just not sure right now.
I know. I'm just giving you hell. I know you're busy as hell, man. But I do miss it. It was really good stuff. I enjoyed it. Right I don't know if anybody else is giving you any feedback on it, but I personally really enjoyed it. I know Clover did too. So if you ever do come back with it, bring it on.
Appreciate it.
Grim, the tactical reaper and educator of the group. Thanks for joining us again. I'm really glad that you're able to join us. And I know, there have been weeks that you can't, but I love having you on the show. I know that, you got the little ones around and all of the stuff that goes around with school, but glad to have you, man.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I do appreciate it. Learning a lot from you guys makes a big difference. And, and everyone out there, do not become complacent.
That's right.
Keep fighting the good fight. I know it sometimes seems like we're spinning our wheels, but I mean, we got to hang in there. We got to hang tough. Again, thanks again to everybody.
Appreciate you very much. Clove, what you got, man?
I don't know. Not a lot. Next generation tomorrow. I don't know. I'm probably going to try to get out of that a little early. We'll talk some sight triangulation drills probably, and then hopefully that'll get over it being Valentine's, especially, and we can get out kind of early and do our thing for Valentine's.
Absolutely. You gotta make sure that your significant loved ones, whether there's some ladies out there in the chat, so take care of your significant others and loved ones and husbands and wives and kids and all of that. It's the day of love, so let's show some love tomorrow. And go check out all these guys' channels.
Hey, and don't forget, Thursday is the day of half price candy, by the way. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. So if you like sweethearts and all that stuff, Thursday's the day to go destroy Walmart and Walgreens, all those places, because you can save a ton of money on candy. And who cares? Who cares if it says "Be mine" and all that? It's
hey. It only stays in the wrapper a second, man. That's
right. That's right. Well, guys, like I said, thank you for joining us. It was a great conversation. I enjoy talking about topics that sometimes have different opinions, because that's what it's all about. If we always agree on everything, nothing gets discussed. And so thank you for coming in and speaking your minds. Thank you to the chat out there on the Gun Channels and on the YouTube side. I really do appreciate you guys joining us and your input as well. Go check out all these guys' channels. You got his Big Gunner. Is he going to come on tonight? He might be coming on tonight. And then obviously you've got G and Bob and Jimmy with Daily Gun Show at midnight Eastern. Go check them out. It's a great way to kind of cap the day and all that. But more importantly, guys, go watch all these creators, support their stuff. Go out and shoot. Take a friend. Take someone who's never held a gun in their lives. Get out there and shoot and take someone with you. You know, you never know who's going to become the next gun person until you take them. If they never hold a gun and never go to the range, then you never know. Get out there and shoot. Take someone with you. Enjoy being on the range. Take your family out there. Make sure everyone's proficient at what they need to do. Be safe and all that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, Semper Fi.